Trump went after the Fox and Friends hosts of going to the, quote, dark side after they mentioned the factual matter that he is sagging in some Republican primary polls. And then you get this uncomfortable moment where one host mentioned the polling again.
75% of Democrats want somebody else. In the same poll, 55%.
Shot again.
55% of Republicans or people leaning Republican want somebody other than Donald Trump to run. That's up 6% from their earlier poll.
And if the former president's watching, you should know those are just the numbers you're relaying. You didn't come up with those numbers, right?
CNN came up with them.
Right.
Ainsley said that if this was a fascinating poll. It is. That's why we just talked about it.
Yeah, but live TV can be, well, revealing. Let's look as that smile begins to fade from Mr. Kilmeade's face when he realizes he is caught live on camera with a co-host talking again about these Republicans who, let's keep it going, just don't like Trump as much as they used to. He almost looks like he's concerned someone might catch him not saying this, but just being near it. The laughter you hear is from Lincoln Project co-founder Rick Wilson. You're not a big lefty.
No,
That's not how you spent your life.
Not how I roll.
You know this world. We wanted to get your view on what's going on, and particularly, as I mentioned, however it plays out, you don't have that DeSantis programming by accident, do you?
This is a very considered decision on Murdoch's part. They have decided Ron DeSantis is the new boy wonder. As long as Donald Trump keeps bleeding out, they're going to keep pressing button. Ron DeSantis has got hot and cold running Republican elites and consultants flying down to Tallahassee to kiss the ring and other parts. He is the man of the moment with the billionaire class in the Republican Party, and it's driving Donald Trump out of his damn mind. He sits in the bridal suite at Mar-a-Lago or in his room at Bedminster and throws things at the walls every time he sees Ron DeSantis on Fox, which is about every 35 seconds now. I mean, that 1 13-minute clip is just one of the probably half a dozen hits he's done on the show, on the channel in that week. He is the guy Rupert has picked, and Rupert owns the most powerful normative force in Republican politics outside of Trump. I do have a theory, though, Ari, that eventually Rupert's instinct to watch a car crash, to watch a fight, he'll elevate Trump again, because Trump will get back out there in the fight. And look, the reality is Donald Trump still controls about 30% of the Republican base.
Sure.
The Trump hotties, they will never break. And that's enough to win primaries.
But there's been many, many strategists like yourself, campaign veterans, as well as political scientists who point out that what we call campaigning, much of it is designed for public and media consumption.
Sure.
There's the private parts, you got to raise the money, you do this and that. But the public parts, people hold rallies to get them first on TV and definitely on TV where they think their voters are watching. If Ron DeSantis doesn't even have to hold rallies because his sit-down interview beats an entire Trump rally on Fox, what does that do to the Trump apparatus in this potential pre-campaign period?
There were two giant driving factors in 2016. Jeff Zucker and Rupert Murdoch, who flooded Trump with earned media. He was on every single day. Trump could go to the opening of a phone booth and they would have covered it with an hour before, an hour of analysis after, and whatever, long discursive rambling Trump had. If they choke him out on the earned media side, it makes it harder and harder because he doesn't have Twitter anymore. He has a much more difficult time doing this. But we still shouldn't underestimate the fact that Trump got 100% name ID in the Republican Party. All his craziness and errors and flaws are baked in the cake with those voters. They like a lot of that. And Ron DeSantis is basically Diet Trump right now. And he's like, oh, I can do this without all of the, pussy grabbing and every other damn thing that was a deficit back in the past, or without having tried to overthrow the government.
The terrible misogyny that was supposed to take Trump out.
Right. All the grotesque errors of Trump, those were already baked in the cake for most voters. With DeSantis, though, when he makes mistakes, they're going to be new mistakes. And the fact of the matter is he's very popular with the Fox set, the very online Republican set. Most Americans don't know who he is yet. He is still an untested quantity.
You're making a very important point, especially for people who are really close to it. I got 40 seconds left. The last question is, why does Brian Kilmeade look so sad there?
Brian Kilmeade is thinking to himself, I'm going to go back into my studio and I'm going to find my phone and it's going to have 100 angry texts from Donald Trump and it's going to make me very sad. because Trump is very intimate with these people. He grew to believe that they were an adjunct of his White House and of his power, and now they're betraying him one day at a time. It really stings. And, you know, the fact is they know Ron DeSantis is younger and thinner and more attractive, and he hates every bit of that.
Well, you shine a light on more than one important facet, including the fact that there is a political, emotional aspect to this.
No question.
And there are people who do that, people who manipulate that. But as you say, that's part of it. Rick Wilson, thank you, and good to see you.